Hello, good day to all of you. I am Sheena Eleni Grado. I'm from grade 11-9 and I'm here to teach you and give some more knowledge about simple and compound interest. You will learn what is interest in detail, including the types of interest definition, and how to calculate the interest amount and the amount borrowed or lent. Do you know what interest means? Okay, so interest, it is a fee paid on borrowed money or on a loan. Interest is the amount paid by someone who borrows a certain amount of money. This term is commonly used in banks, loans, installments, and investments. It is associated with percent, rate, and the length of time for which the amount of money is borrowed. There are two main types of interest, simple and compound. So first is simple interest. Simple interest is calculated on the principal or original amount of a loan. Simple interest is a method of calculating interest, either on the amount borrowed or invested for the entire period of the loan, without considering any additional factors such as past interest or any other financial consideration. Simple interest is paid on the original principal amount. It is not compounded. Generally, this type of interest is applicable for a short-term duration, usually in days, weeks, months, or even a few years, with not so large amounts of money. Simple interest is calculated with the following formula. I is equals to P times R times T, where I is equals to interest. The interest of fee paid on borrowed money or on a loan. P is equals to principal. The principal is the initial or original amount of money that was borrowed or invested. R is equals to rate. It is the interest rate per time period. And T is equals to time. The time is the duration for which the money is borrowed or deposited. It is usually calculated as the number of days, months, or years. And in time, we use as annual by year, semi-annual every 6 months, quarterly every 3 months, monthly every month, weekly 7 days, and daily every day. And also we have maturity value or future value. After the term of the loan or investment, the maturity value or future value is computed by getting the sum of the principal and the interest. For more information, I will discuss the two kinds of simple interest. There are basically two kinds of simple interest, ordinary and exact. These two terms uses the same formula for solving the simple interest, but they differ on using the time. Ordinary simple interest is a simple interest that uses 360 days as the equivalent number of days in a year. On the other hand, exact simple interest is a simple interest that uses exact number of days in a year, which is 365 or 366 for a leap year. These two kinds of simple interest are only applicable if the unit of time used is in days. So these are the formula of simple interest. If we were looking for interest, the formula is I equals to PRT, or P times R times T. If we were looking for principal, the formula is P equals to I divided by R times T. Then if the rate is missing, the formula is R equals to I divided by P times T. And lastly, if the time is missing, the formula is T equals to I divided by P times R. There are some examples of simple interest. First example, Alan borrowed 250,000 pesos from a lending company, where he needs to pay an interest rate of 5% annually. Find the simple interest in 2 years. Okay, so we will write the given principal. Our principal is 250,000 pesos. Our rate is 5%. we need to convert it into decimal, so 0.05. And our time is 2 years. Okay, so next is we need to write the solution. So our formula for finding the interest is I equals to P times R times T. So our principal is 250,000 times rate 0.05 and times time 2. We need to multiply it to find the interest. And the answer is 25,000 pesos. So our interest in 2 years is 25,000 pesos. Example number 2. When invested at an annual interest rate of 5%, the amount earned is 15,000 pesos of simple interest in 3 years. How much money was originally invested? So write the given. The interest is 15,000 pesos. The rate is 5% and convert it into decimal, so 0.05, and time is 3 years. And write the solution. So the formula for finding the principal is I divided by 3 times T. So our I is 15,000 pesos divided by 0.05 times 15,000 divided by 0.05 times 3 equals to 100,000 pesos. So our principal is 100,000 pesos. Example number 3. If an entrepreneur applies for a loan amounting to 500,000 pesos in a bank, the simple interest of which is 100,000 pesos for 2 years, what is interest rate is being charged? So write the given. The principal is 500,000 pesos. The interest is 100,000 pesos. And the time is 2 years. So write the solution. So the formula for finding the rate is R equals to I divided by P times T. So the interest is 100,000 pesos divided by 500,000 pesos times 2. So 100,000 pesos divided by 500,000 pesos times 2 equals to 0.1 or 10%. So the interest rate is 0.1 or 10%. Example number 4. A garment company wants to invest 120,000 pesos at 5% interest rate per annum. How many years will it take to have the expected interest of 25,000 pesos? Write the given. The principal is 120,000 pesos. The interest is 25,000 pesos. And the rate is 5% and convert it into decimal, so 0.05. Next, write the solution. So the formula for finding the time is I divided by P times R. Okay, 25,000 pesos divided by 120,000 pesos times 0.05. So, the answer is 4.1666. So, round up. So, magiging 4.17. So, the years that will it take to have the expected interest of 25,000 pesos is 4.17 years. Number 5 examples. Find the maturity value if 2 million pesos is deposited in a bank at an annual simple interest rate of 25% after 5 years. Write the given. The principal is 2 million pesos. The rate is 25%. Convert it into decimal, so 0.0025. And the time is 5 years. So, write the solution. So, first is we need to find the interest. So, the formula for finding the interest is I equals to P times R times T. So, our principal, 2 million pesos times rate, which is 0.0025, times time, 5. Multiply it. So, the answer is 25,000 pesos. And find the maturity value. So, the formula for finding the maturity value is P plus I, or principal plus interest. So, the principal is 2 million pesos plus interest, 25,000 pesos. So, 2 million pesos plus 25,000 pesos equals to 2,025,000 pesos. So, the maturity value is 2,025,000 pesos. And the next type of interest is compound interest. Compound interest is calculated on the principal amount and the accumulated interest of previous periods, and thus can be regarded as interest on interest. Compound interest is a type of interest wherein the interest added to the principal amount also earns interest starting from the time when is added to the principal amount. The interest earned in the period will be added to the principal amount and both will earn interest in the next period. The interest is not calculated on the original principal, but it is calculated on the amount invested or owned at the time of calculation. And these are the terms of compound interest. So, the terms of compound interest are same as simple interest, where I is equals to interest. The interest is a fee paid on borrowed money or on a loan. P is equals to principal. The principal is the initial or original amount of money that was borrowed or invested. R is equals to rate. It is the interest rate per time period. And T is equals to time. The time is the duration for which the money is borrowed or deposited. It is usually calculated as the number of days, months, or years. And in time, we use as annual by year, semi-annual, every 6 months, quarterly every 3 months, monthly every month, weekly 7 days, and daily every day. And same as simple interest, we have the maturity value or future value. The maturity value or future value of a loan is the sum of the principal P plus the interest I. These are the formula of compound interest. FV equals P times 1 plus R divided by M raised to the M times T power. And this is the formula if we were looking for principal amount on compound interest. P equals FV times 1 plus R divided by M raised to the negative M times T power. And this is the formula if we were looking for interest and compound interest. I equals to FV minus P. We have frequency of conversion or M. This is the number of conversion periods in 1 year. In annually, we have 1. It means that it can only be compounded 1 times a year. In semi-annually, we have 2. It means that it will be compounded 2 times a year. In quarterly, we have 4. It means that it will be compounded 4 times a year. And in monthly, we have 12. It means that it will be compounded 12 times a year.
There are some examples of compound interest. First example, Anna invested 18,000 into an account that paying 6% interest compounded annually. How much money will be in the account after 8 years? Okay, so write the given. The principal is 18,000 pesos. The rate is 6% and convert it into decimal, so 0.06. Time is 8 years and M since annually, so 1. Then write the solution. First is write the formula. So the formula for compound interest is FB equals to P times 1 plus R divided by M raised to MT. So the principal is 18,000 pesos times 1 plus 0.06 divided by 1 raised to 1 times 8. FB equals 18,000. So 1 plus 0.06 divided by 1 equals to 1.06. And 1 times 8 equals 8. Then solve it. 18,000 times 1.06 raised to 8 equals 28,689.27. So, the money will be in the account after 8 years is equals to 28,689.27 pesos. Example number 2. Lucy invests 100,000 pesos into an index annuity that averaged 20% per year, compounded semi-annually. How much money will be in her account after 9 years? Okay, so write the given. The principal is 100,000 pesos. The rate is 20% and convert it into decimal, so 0.2. The time is 9 years. And since semi-annually, the M is equals to 2. Then write the solution and write the formula first. So again, the formula for finding the compound interest is FB equals to P times 1 plus R divided by M raised to MT. So FB equals to 100,000 times 1 plus 0.2 divided by 2. Then raised to 2 times 9. And FB equals 100,000 times 1 plus 0.02 divided by 2 equals 1.1, and 2 times 9 equals 18. So the answer is FB equals 555,991.73. So the money will be in her account after 9 years is equals to 555,991.73 pesos. Number 3 example, J invests 10,000 pesos with an annual interest rate of 5% compounded quarterly. How much money will be in the account after 5 years? Okay, given P is equals to 10,000 pesos, R is equals to 5% and convert it into decimal, so 0.05. Time is 5 years. And since quarterly, our M is equals to 4. Okay, so write the solution. The formula is FB equals P times 1 plus R divided by M raised to MT. FV is equals to 10,000 times 1 plus 0.05 divided by 4 raised to 4 times 5. FV is equals to 10,000 times 1 plus 0.05 divided by 4 is equals to 1.0125. And 4 times 5 is equals to 20. Then multiply it. 10,000 times 1.0125 raised to 20 is equals to 12,820.37. So the money will be in the account after 5 years is equals to 12,820.37 pesos. Number 4 example, Sally puts 45,000 pesos in a savings account, paying 6% annual interest, compounded monthly. At this rate, how much money will be in the account after 25 years? Okay, write the given. The principal is 45,000 pesos. The rate is 6% and convert it into decimal, so 0.06. Time is 25 years. And since monthly, our M is equals to 12. Write the solution. The formula is FB equals P times 1 plus R divided by M raised to MT. So FB equals 45,000 times 1 plus 0.06 divided by 12 raised to 12 times 25. So FB equals 45,000 times 1 plus 0.06 divided by 12 is equals to 1.005. 12 times 25 is equals to 300. Then multiply it all. 45,000 times 1.005 raised to 300 is equals to 200,923.64. So the money will be in the account after 25 years is equals to 200,923.64 pesos. Okay, I give you an activity for simple interest. Answer it and we will check it after 5 minutes. Okay, time for checking. So, we will check first the activity 1. So, Donnie is invested 50,000 pesos for 2 years. The interest rate is 6%. How much interest will Donnie earn after 2 years? Okay, write the given. P is equals to 50,000 pesos. R is equals to 2% and convert it into decimal, so 0.02. Time is 2 years. And write the solution. So the formula for finding the interest is I equals to P times R times T. So I is equals to 50,000 times 0.02 times 2. So 50,000 times 0.02 times 2 is equals to 2,000 pesos. So the interest will Donnie earn after 2 years is 2,000 pesos. And activity number 2, Jonah borrows to a bank with an interest rate of 10% per year for 2 years. The interest amounted to 5,000 pesos. How much did he borrow? Okay, write the given. I is equals to 5,000 pesos. R is equals to 10% and convert it into decimal, so 0.1. Time is 2 years. And write the solution. So the formula for finding the principal is P equals to I divided by R times T. So the interest is 5,000 pesos divided by rate is 0.1 times time 2. Okay, so 5,000 divided by 0.1 times 2 is equals to 25,000 pesos. So Jonah borrows 25,000 pesos to a bank. Next, activity number 3. Timmy borrowed 80,000 pesos if the loan was for 2 years and the amount of interest is 20,000 pesos. What is the rate of the loan? Okay, write the given. P is equals to 80,000 pesos. I is equals to 20,000 pesos. And time is equals to 2 years. Then write the solution. The formula for finding the rate is R equals to I divided by P times T. So R equals to interest. 20,000 pesos divided by principal 80,000 pesos times time 2. So 20,000 divided by 80,000 times 2 is equals to 0.125 or 12.5%. So again, the rate of the loan is 0.125 or 12.5%. Activity 4. Donna got a loan for 5,000 pesos to buy an appliances. The interest rate was 8%. He paid 1,200 in interest. How many years did it take to her to pay off her loan? Write the given. P is equals to 5,000 pesos. I is equals to 1,200 pesos and rate is equals to 8% and convert it into decimal, so 0.08. Write the solution. So, the formula for finding the time is T equals to I divided by P times R. Okay, T is equals to 1,200 divided by 5,000 times 0.08. So 1,200 divided by 5,000 times 0.08 is equals to 3 years. So Donna have 3 years to pay off her loan. Activity 5, Lori invested 300,000 pesos in a bank with a 4% annual simple interest. What is the maturity value of the investment in 10 years? Write the given. P is equals to 300,000 pesos. R is equals to 4% and convert it into decimal, so 0.04. And the time is 10 years. So write the solution. First is we need to find the interest. So formula for interest is I equals to P times R times T. So I is equals to 300,000 pesos times 0.04 times 10. So 300,000 pesos times 0.04 times 10 is equals to 120,000 pesos. And we will find the maturity value. So the formula for maturity value is MV equals to P plus I. So MV equals to 300,000 pesos plus 120,000 pesos is equals to 420,000 pesos. So again, the maturity value of the investment in 10 years is 420,000 pesos. Okay, and I give you an activity for compound interest. Answer it and we will check it after 5 minutes. Okay, time for checking. So we will check first the activity number 1. George wants to invest 20,000 pesos into an account that compounds annually. The interest rate at this bank is 4%. How much money will be in the account after 6 years? Okay, so write the given. P is equals to 20,000 pesos. R is equals to 4% and convert it into decimal, so 0.04. Time is 6 years. Okay, so since annually, so M is equals to 1. So write the solution. So the formula for compound interest is FB equals P times 1 plus R divided by M and raised to MT. So FB is equals to 20,000 pesos times 1 plus 0.04 divided by 1 and raised to 1 times 6. So FB is equals to 20,000 pesos times 1 plus 0.04 divided by 1 is equals to 1.04. And 1 times 6 is equals to 6. So FB is equals to 20,000 times 1.04 raised to 6 is equals to 25,306.38. So the money will be in the account after 6 years is 25,306.38. Activity number 2, how much should be deposited in the bank, paying 15% compounded semi-annually to accumulate an amount of 125,000 in 6 years. Okay, write the given. F is equals to 125,000 pesos. Rate is 15% and convert it into decimal, so 0.015. Time is 6 years. Okay, so since semi-annually, the M is equals to 2. And write the solution. And for finding the principal, the formula is P is equals to FV times 1 plus R divided by M raised to negative MT. Okay, so P is equals to 125,000 pesos times 1 plus 0.015 divided by 2 raised to negative 2 times 6. Okay, so P is equals to 125,000 times 1 plus 0.015 divided by 2 is equals to 1.0075, and negative 2 times 6 is equals to negative 12. Okay, so multiply 125,000 times 1.0075 raised to negative 12 is equals to 114,279.77. So again, the principal is equals to 114,279.77 pesos. Okay, activity 3. How much must Donna set aside and invest in a fund earning 2% compounded quarterly if she wants to accumulate 35,500 in 3 years? Okay, write the given. So F is equals to 35,500 and R is equals to 2% and convert it into decimal, so 0.02. Time is equals to 3 years. And since quarterly, so the M is equals to 4. Okay, then write the solution. So P is equals to FV times 1 plus R divided by M raised to negative MT. So P is equals to 35,500 times 1 plus 0.02 divided by 4 raised to negative 4 times 3. So P is equals to 35,500 times 1 plus 0.02 divided by 4 is equals to 1.005. And negative 4 times 3 is equals to negative 12. So 35,500 times 1.005 raised to negative 12 is equals to 33,437.64. Okay, so again, the principal is equals to 33,437.64 pesos. Activity number 4. A certificate of deposit or CD is savings instrument that many banks offer. Suppose you deposit 12,000 pesos in a CD, paying 9% interest compounded monthly. How much will you have in the account after 18 years? Okay, so write the given. P is equals to 12,000 pesos. R is equals to 9% and convert it into decimal, so 0.09. T is equals to 18 years. And since monthly, so the M is equals to 12. Okay, then write the solution. Okay, so the formula is FV is equals to P times 1 plus R divided by M raised to MT. So FV is equals to 12,000 pesos times 1 plus 0.09 divided by 12 raised to 12 times 18. So FV is equals to 12,000 times 1 plus 0.09 divided by 12 is equals to 1.0075. So 12 times 18 is equals to 216. So multiply it all. So 12,000 times 1.0075 raised to 216 is equals to 60,271.65. Okay, so the money will be in the account after 18 years is equals to 60,271.65.
So guys, that's all. I hope you learned a lot from what I discussed about simple and compound interest. Once again, I'm Sheena Elaine Igrado from grade 11 ABM-9, and I'm leaving a quote that life is just like math. If you don't try to solve it, you can never succeed.